Next at 5:30, Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins fields some tough questions from reporters as he returns to Vikings training camp.
Plus an uptick of car thefts in the metro. Several police departments sharing how you can avoid becoming an easy target.
And if you love eating farm-to-table style, this is your week. It's time to celebrate farmers markets across Minnesota.
This is Fox 9 News at 5:30.
In my entire college and pro career, I have not missed 4 practices. So to miss 4 practices in 1 week, and not have COVID was frustrating, disappointing.
Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins is back, but first he had to face the media. Thank you for joining us here at 5:30. Before he could even take the field, reporters peppered Cousins with questions about COVID-19 protocols and his vaccination status.
Dawn Mitchell was there for that. She joins us now. What did Kirk have to say about this?
You know, Kirk clearly frustrated that he missed 4 practices in that 5-day, shall we say, quarantine period, but he was back at practice today. And the interesting thing is he said he has 6 negative COVID tests, no symptoms whatsoever, and he does not have COVID. And from his understanding, the close proximity to players was not high risk. As a matter of fact, what the problem was in the quarterback meeting room size.
Last time I was in a room with Kellen was 6 days ago, and I've come to learn since I've been at home that the tracers we wear actually showed I was not a close contact, as I understand being a close contact, which is within a certain number of feet. The challenge was the meeting room we met in was deemed to be too small for us to have been in a room together, even if we were significantly apart from each other. So we've since moved to a different meeting room, and as I understand it, had we met in a larger room, I would not have missed practice. I do believe the protocols work, and that's why I believe I didn't have COVID, after being in a meeting room like that, because the mask and the social distancing works. And as I said to Coach Zimmer on the phone last night, I said we can meet in the indoor, we can meet outside. And I said, if it means meeting outside under a goalpost in January, if that's what it takes to get to the playoffs and be in playoff games and win playoff games, then that's where we're going to meet.
So Kirk obviously happy to finally be back on the field practicing with his teammates after that frustration of missing the past 4. He and fellow quarterback Nate Stanley both officially activated today. Case Cookis was waived. But when Cousins was asked directly if he was vaccinated, or even if it would be better or easier for the entire team if he was, this was Kirk's response.
I think the vaccination decision is a private, very private health matter for me, and I'm going to keep it as such. I do believe that as a leader of the team, it's very important to follow the protocols to avoid this close contact, because that is what it's going to come down to, is did you have a close contact? And so I'm going to be vigilant about avoiding a close contact. I've even thought about, should I just set up literally plexiglass around where I sit so that this could never happen again? I thought about it, because I'm going to do whatever it takes.
So now we wait and see if indeed paying attention and being vigilant in these protocols will work, especially so when it comes to their starting quarterback. He is not saying he is or is not vaccinated, but we can all read between the lines. At TCO Performance Center, Dawn Mitchell, Fox 9 Sports.
Yeah. All right, Dawn.